Hello guys, welcome to pcdrills, where you find help on how to handle your PC related issues. Today we'll be taking a look at how we can download and install a Tor browser on our Kali Linux PC. Here I'm using VMware. It's just the same process. VMware is just a virtualization software that we use in order to emulate some operating systems without having to install them on our physical device. So to install our Tor browser, you simply have to head over to our browser and then we search. And if you saw the previous video where I explained how you can navigate through this graphical user interface here to find what you need, sometimes here we came to this applications part and then we search for the usual programs that are available here. On this programs tab, you simply have to go to maybe the recently used. You can also see here usual applications. These usual applications refer to stuff like the browser and the rest. So using favorites is just because I've been opening these other ones, that's why they have appeared as favorite. But if you don't have it as favorite, this usual application should also help you. Simply have to choose this internet, or if you have it enabled Firefox on yours or Chromium, just depends on the particular distro you are using at the moment, then you just have to choose on it. And then you have here this Firefox, this Ethercap, Kingfisher and the rest. Let's use our Firefox. Now our Firefox is open. So it's time for you to download the Tor browser for any distribution or operating system is torproject.org. So this is the official site for you to download the Tor browser. Any link you find on the internet that leads you to any site for you to download this particular browser, sorry to disappoint. Those sites might have their own version of Tor, maybe modified, sometimes more secured, as you can see, and sometimes maybe just having maybe some backdoors embedded into it. With hacking, hackers don't have problems hacking other hackers in quotes. So you just have to be aware of the risks yourself. So once on this side, this is how the site looks like. You simply have to scroll down, then you will find where you can download the browser. You can see here download Tor browser. If you like to read, you can continue scrolling down and then you read what Tor can help you do. Remember, Tor is just a browser and not a VPN. Tor can help you do some VPN stuff, but it's not dedicated as a VPN software. Tor is a kind of anonymous browser where all your logs are being kept secret and all your browsing history isn't being disclosed like with other various browsers which use your information for their own gain or to make maybe money and the rest. And for Tor, you can download it for either Windows, Mac OS, Linux or Android. So it just depends on your purpose of watching this video. If you have maybe a Windows computer to do it, it's the same process as we are explaining here. The only thing that changes for you to choose the part here which pertains to Windows. If you are for Mac, the second option; for Linux, third; Android, the last. But for what we use the dark web for, I would recommend don't use the Android for your own testing purposes. So just in quotes, we all know why we download the Tor browser, so we shouldn't be reminding ourselves of it every day. So since we are dealing with Kali Linux, we are going to take the Linux version of the browser. So we simply click on it and we scroll down and find out where we can start our download process. You can see here it has already loaded up the download file. Here you can see Tor browser Linux version, and you can notice that it's 64-bit version 10.0.7. so if you are downloading for a 32-bit, make sure here is a 32-bit, and if not, you can scroll down and then select manually. And here you have save file open with. I need to save the file so that next time I can just use the particular file and then install on another machine, or maybe on this very machine some other time. So if you take open with, once you're done installing, you want to have an installer file. That's just it. So you take save file and then you take OK. You simply wait for it to download. You can view your download progress at the download bar from here. And since the internet speed looks a little bit good, it's not going to take much of our time. And from our last video, you saw where our home directory was. Let's just open it and then see the file that is being downloaded as it's being stored on our PC. You can open this home here, or you simply scroll up. You simply come up and then still open this folder icon like we saw last time. So anyone should do the trick. And our file has completed downloading. Now you can still open from this tab which shows that you should open the file location. Still the same process. So when you download stuff on Kali Linux, they are being stored in your downloads folder, except if you explicitly change the download location. So now here is our file that we have downloaded. It has been archived with the tar and then zipped with the xzip. This xzip is one of the zipping compression algorithms that Linux uses. So if you take this file to a Windows computer, you will not be able to extract it. So to extract, you can simply right click and then choose extract to. You can simply double click on it to open with an archive manager, and once it has opened with your own archive manager, you can just use the option up to extract, and then you select a particular location where you wish to extract it to. And with this extraction process, for any files, you can always select the particular file you wish to extract, or you just extract all, and you can always select the particular location where you wish to keep the files. So you wait for the archive manager to load and then we can extract. Extracting doesn't take much of time, so you just have to wait for it to read the content of the archived file. Once here, you simply click on extract, then it's going to open up a file system kind of display for you to choose where you wish to store it. I have current files in the download, so when extracting, the default location will be the download. So if you wish to move it to maybe a desktop or maybe a USB drive, here is where you select it, and then you can choose various locations from these options. But here I simply want to just continue my stuff with the downloads directory, so I simply click here on extract. And once you click on extract, a file is going to be extracted to your directory where you have chosen, depending on all these various options from here. There's also do not extract older files, overwrite existing files, and the rest. Existing files here mean that maybe some files have the same name as those you are extracting, so at the end some will have to be overwritten. That's the meaning of overwrite. Or if you deselect this, those will not be overwritten. So you have the download, the extract option, sorry, but down here, so you simply have to click on this extract, and then you wait a few seconds for it to extract, and once it's done you can close the archive manager and then you continue with the installation process of your Tor browser. Now with your Tor browser, since you are installing it manually, you don't have the way of executing it directly from your terminal. By saying this, I mean that you cannot just run a simple command from any particular location for you to start up the Tor browser, but there are other ways that you can do that. But you have to edit the path settings to point to where the location of the Tor browser is, but that's something more advanced and you might instead run into some errors, so it's preferable you just run it this way. I'm going to show you now. So this is our extracted file. You can see the difference. One is having a different icon with a kind of zip, other one is a simple folder. Simply have to double click on it and then you open this particular location on your terminal. To open it, you simply have to right click and then you open terminal here. That's what this particular distro gives us as the option. So on other options you simply see open in terminal, so anything that resembles that is it. So you simply have to do that, and then this is the file we are going to run this Tor browser setup. When we run it, it's going to open up our browser. Don't bother about what is inside this browser folder because it's not actually necessary. And if you have watched the beginner course for the Linux, you can see that we are making use of some of the commands here, like ls to see what is being stored. Like here we can see we have browser and Tor setup. Here you can put our ls, just displays the exact stuff we have on this side. So we simply have to run the Tor browser setup. So let's first of all see if it has our execute permissions. Yes, it does. It has read, write and execute. And remember, for Tor browser, guys, sorry I didn't say this earlier, for Tor browser you have to run it as a low privilege user. You cannot run it as the admin. So like I said the previous time, always create low privilege user accounts and use admin only if necessary. So here you can see the permissions here, read, write, execute for the owner only. The rest, it doesn't have any permissions. So just keep that in mind, and then always remember that you have to use admin only when necessary, or when you know exactly what you are doing at the moment. It can cause you some issues as well as it can also fix them. So to run it, you simply have to put a dot and you put a slash. So it's period slash and then you put the name of the executable file. And last time you say you can use the tab to autocomplete, so I just put st and I press tab, autocomplete with the name that resembles what I have started typing. So after doing that, you hit enter and then it will launch the Tor browser. You can see from the right there this icon changed, and we should wait for a minute. You'll be able to see the Tor browser load up. Now we can see our Tor browser has just loaded, and we know with Tor it's not just like any other normal browser that we usually use, so it doesn't just open up directly. You have to connect or maybe configure if you have some particular settings you wish to use. So if you are in some countries such as Egypt, China or Turkey, as it says here, you have to use maybe some particular proxies for you to be able to connect. And to use a proxy, you have to use the configure option and then you select here and then you can configure. But in my own country, our internet is not being censored, so I simply have to run it. Sorry, I pressed the back button without looking well, and then I close the browser. And with this, since I'm running it on a virtual machine, it's a little bit slow, so I simply have to click on connect, and then I wait for it to connect to the internet. And once that's done, maybe my IP address will start showing that I'm in a different country. Browser now has successfully connected to the particular settings through the particular settings it used. So if you didn't connect, you'll see but an error, but now that it has connected, you can see it loading up a particular browser. And with the Tor browser, guys, it's mostly advisable you use it with a default size. So with the Tor browser, guys, it's recommended you use it with the default size of the browser. You can see here it loads up just half of the screen, not even up to half of my screen display for the PC, or maybe 3/4, but it's preferable you use it with this particular size, since with browsers they can determine your screen size from just the way your browser is being displayed. So if you are using just a standard one, even if they determine the size to be the same size for the default and everyone is using the default, you'll still kind of be a long way to go before kind of reaching down, before kind of narrowing the path to you in particular. So that's just it. Let's keep that short, and you know where to ask your questions. So this is just it, and there's one side where you can find your IP address, and we'll use it to check if my IP address has successfully changed and where am I located at the moment. Remember, this location is simply virtual, it's not my physical location. And you can also try it with your own machine, and you see that it's not your actual location. To check your IP, you can use a site whatismyip.com, and you simply check where it shows to be your location. And with this Tor browser, it kind of changes your location, making you more anonymous. So the particular location I'll have here won't be my exact location at the time of making this video. So that's just it. I'm just trying to explain to you how it works. So with this installed, and with your VPN that you normally use, or maybe another kind of encryption method for your data, maybe proxy chains, you can become more and more safe and secured online. So it just depends on you whether you're adding a paid VPN that has a very good license and respect user privacy, or what else. But this is what we normally call the Tor browser. You can do your normal searches, and you can browse here just like the free net. So that's just it with how you can install and use this browser. And with this browser, it doesn't save browsing history and the rest. And also remember, with the browser, since it's encrypting your data and passing it through various hops before it arrives at destination and before it comes back to the source, all that stuff moving from one particular server to another so as to hide the data. That's also how it makes your internet connection very slow. So that's just one of the disadvantages. The more you are secure, the less the speed of your internet connection. So guys, finally I've gotten something out of the long search that has taken place here. You can see the location here is Vinland NJ US. ISP here, they are saying it's Quintech Alliance Consulting. and IPv6 is blah blah blah. But actually none of this information corresponds to my own machine. So even if you do on a site for it to check your hardware properties with this browser, it won't. And you know, when you visit some sites, it starts showing you ads depending on maybe some particular things that you searched online. Maybe you visit a site, the ads start showing you maybe some very cool laptops or cars because you have been searching about cars. But with this browser, that doesn't happen. So I believe you know why. Like I said, it doesn't save your browsing history, cookies, and the rest. So no tracking is being done around this browser. So guys, let's just cut that short for this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. And if you have any comments, please keep them at the comment section. Like, comment, share, recommend, and ask questions at the comment section. See you in our next video. Bye and thank you.